Hello, it's me, Ivy Weiss. Welcome back to another taste of late night inspiration. Tonight's quote reads, "Sometimes those who are heartless once cared too much," and that's by Pacino. This is a risky one, but I'm willing to take a stab at it. As I think about, first let me just say this. I'm not going to quite say they're heartless. I just want to say that they've reached a certain peak in their life where they may have been given and given and given, and they're not getting anything in return. And they've been given not to receive something in return, but sometimes you have emptied out. Your spirit is getting low. Sometimes that just the caringness that surrounds you is not there because you've given it all away. And once you've given everything away inside of you and you're not replenishing it back, then that can cause a problem. Most of the time when people who have a big heart, they're givers. They're giving everything. They're always showing love. They're being there. They're caring. They're supportive. They're giving all that they have. And there's nothing coming back into them. And that begins to replenish them a lot of times mentally, and you don't really understand why. But I tell you this, it's just like going to the bank. And you got this savings account. Your spirit, your joy, your love, all of that stuff is a savings account that you have in place. And if you're going to the bank, you're constantly making a withdrawal from your savings account. You're withdrawing love and you're giving it away. Giving it away. You may not be understanding that you really needed to make sure that it comes back to you, but you're giving it away. You go to your bank account and you withdraw a certain amount of caring, and you got this caring spirit about yourself. You care, you have empathy. So you've withdrawn that out of your savings account. Remember, you may not be getting anything back, so you can't put anything back into your savings account, so it's constantly dwindling down. You have all of these care factors, encouragement, your support that you give people. And I'm not just talking about financial support. When you are constantly being there for people, and it can be draining sometimes if you're not getting it back. So you've replenished, you're making all these transactions in your savings account. Nothing's coming back. That's the way I look at it. If you're not putting that money back in that savings account, it's not going to grow again. And if you're constantly giving of yourself, sometimes we get too carried away and we're thinking and we're putting others before ourselves. And we're not getting the return. And it begins to wear and tear at you. You begin to get tired. You begin to be overwhelmed for things. And you may not really know how to explain it, but that's why you begin to feel that way. Because sometimes you want people to think about you like you thought about them. You may not even realize that that's what you need. But that's what your heart and your spirit and your soul needs sometimes, is there somebody to give it back to you. You got to have it put back in you. And most of the time when you're a strong person, people look to you, they're going to drain you. And if you don't have a way to get it back, then it becomes some days when you don't feel the strength. You don't feel the strength to just be there. You don't want to talk. You don't want to be bothered. It's because you've been drained. So what can you do to make sure that your spirit does not become heartless? And there's nothing wrong with caring too much. I don't see anything wrong with it, but you got to know how to do it. Sometimes you're not going to get it back, and don't look for it. It has to be a part of you. So when you need to be replenished, that's when you start reading. That's when you start listening to that music. Take in a good sermon from time to time. Get on YouTube and listen to people that can encourage you, that can instill something in you. And what they're doing is actually replenishing you, giving back to you all that you've pushed out and given to others. And then that way you don't have to become a heartless person. But I will tell you this, there does come a time. There is a time when you must realize when it's time to cut it off. You got to realize that sometimes people are going to drain you. And as long as you allow it, they're going to drain you. Doesn't mean you don't care. It just means that it's time to put a stop to that. It's time to be done with that. Because some people are going to come to you and they're going to take everything you have. I'm not talking about finances. They're going to take everything out of you. And they're not putting anything back in. And it becomes draining. And then you become very upset about things. Your tolerance is low. You're impatient. You're aggravated. You have anxiety and don't even know why. So make sure that in order that you guard your heart, make sure you're surrounded by people who care. If you can do that, you need that. And make sure you put some things back inside of you. Whether you're reading, watching certain shows that give you laughter that you need, whatever it is, try to replenish yourself back. Because one thing you don't want to do, and I definitely don't want to become a heartless person. And I don't ever want that dark heart. So make sure that when you begin to feel that way, find a way to get it back. Well, that's been it. I could talk a while on this one because I've been dealing with that a little bit myself. But take some time. Share these videos with some friends. If you got some time, give me some feedback. Like, share, comment. Let me know. And I enjoy you just tuning in and thank you for your support. And until next time, if you haven't subscribed, please do so today. And until next time, night, night.